March 14th, the very important day with a big announcement. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. Alright, March 14th is rapidly approaching, which is a very important day with a highly anticipated announcement that we need to watch very closely, as this announcement will impact all of us in a pretty big way. Therefore, we probably want to pay attention to it to see what it actually means, and that's exactly what I'm going to talk about right here in the video, so let's get right into it. However, really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video, as it's totally free to do so, and because I am your one and only daily advocate, I'm here for you right by your side every single day, watching all this new information hitting the wire, doing all the necessary research, and breaking it all down into these short videos so you can stay updated with what is actually going on, as things are continuously changing every single day. And of course, I want to break it down so you can see how this is going to impact you, your money, your benefits, your lifestyle, your bank account, and of course anything out there right now you can possibly grab and or take advantage of as a low income or fixed income beneficiary. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and also remember, I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be. That's my dedication, that's my commitment, and as always, that is my promise to you and everybody right here in the community. Alright, thanks again. Let's get into it and talk about March 14th, the big, highly anticipated announcement coming out. What does it mean, and what can we expect from this announcement? All of these are very good questions. Let's talk through the details. Alright, so the morning of March 14th, we're going to be getting the latest inflation reading. Now, this is going to be in regards to the month of February, as these reports generally come out in the middle of the month for the prior month, and that's exactly what we're going to be getting here with this one as well. So this is going to be the latest CPI, Consumer Price Index release for the month of February to let us know what's going on with inflation. Has it plateaued? Is it going back up? Is it going down? What's going on with it here? This is a very, very important report. As we all know, inflation has been very high for almost 2 years now, and a little bit over the last few months here, we've been seeing it come down a little bit, but the Federal Reserve still has a lot of work ahead of them, and inflation is still very, very high as of right now. Now, the estimates that are coming in right now are all over the board. I've seen some estimates coming in showing that they're anticipating it's going to go higher. I've seen a lot of estimates coming in saying it's not going to do anything, it's just going to be flat, and I've seen some estimates coming in saying it will be down a few tenths of 1%. Well, we'll get all the details on the morning of the 14th. So here's the thing. Now, why do we care about this report so much, and what does it really mean for all of us? Well, first off, it's giving us a glimpse into what is really going on with inflation. Now, here's the thing. I've mentioned this before over the last several months here. The deal is a lot of times the headline number comes in a little bit lower as of recently. That's what we've been seeing here over the last several months. However, as we dig into the report, we can clearly see inflation is still running very hot on some of the necessities like food, shelter, healthcare, the things that many people that are low income and fixed income are spending a lot of money on, right? Well, that's something that we need to pay attention to very closely, because here's the thing. If we're continuously seeing inflation go down on things like gas and things like that, I mean, realistically, yes, that's good, but at the end of the day, if inflation is still going up and if prices are still rising on very important things like food and shelter and healthcare, for example, that's not a good situation, right? So that's why I got to pay attention to this report very closely, because it literally will impact all of us, because I'm pretty sure most of us are probably buying things like food, probably paying for things like shelter, probably paying for healthcare costs on a pretty regular basis, things like that, right? So again, very, very important stuff. And we need to see, is this inflation finally coming down a little bit more? As we know, it is still very, very elevated. And as we've been talking about for a long time now, probably 6 months now, probably even longer, since we saw inflation peak way back in the summer of last year, which was June of last year, which actually when inflation peaked out at 9.1%. We've been seeing it come down a teeny tiny bit, but realistically, it has not come down that much. And by the time that we come around full circle, 1 full year later, by the time that we reach June of this year, it's highly unlikely that inflation will be down where the Federal Reserve wants it at 2 to 2.5%. Highly unlikely. We're probably in this for probably at least another 6, 8, maybe 9, even 12 months of this very high inflated inflation. Inflated inflation, right? Have you ever heard of such a thing? Right? I mean, obviously, inflated inflation, but This is a serious problem, and we all know right now, based on all these reports that we've been seeing coming out. In fact, I've been coming back probably maybe once per month, maybe twice per month, things like this, with all these new reports that are coming out, showing all these different numbers across the board. In fact, as of the most recent report, we continue to see that the average household is spending almost $500 more per month right now on the basic necessities that we were just about a year and a half ago. So that is a major, major problem, that we're still spending almost $500 more per month on the average household. Now again, some households might be spending an extra $100, some might be spending an extra $200, some might be spending an extra $1,000, but this is the average, almost $500 more every single month. And again, that is not sustainable. And we've continuously seen these reports coming out time and time again, month after month for the last year and a half now. We've been seeing these reports coming out. That is not a good situation, right? Well, as we know, the economy is contracting. That is a thing. We know that the economy is contracting, and as a result of that, businesses are spending less money. We, consumers, are spending less money as a whole, right? Maybe a little bit less, as in, maybe we don't feel like, hey, I want to be running out buying a bunch of stuff right now, because the economy is contracting. We know what's really going on with the economic picture right now, as we've been talking about in previous videos. And as a result of that, we're probably maybe holding back a little bit, or people simply do not have the money. Again, another story that we've been talking about for a very long time, where virtually nobody has money right now because a huge percentage of the population is living paycheck to paycheck. And again, not a very good situation for the vast majority of people. So this report is going to be a very, very important one. It's going to give us a glimpse into the CPI, Consumer Price Index, and again, this is going to be the inflation report for the month of February. Now, here's another thing as well. I want to point this out. All of the politicians and all these talking heads will come out and say, well, this is delayed information. It's from February. Okay, yeah, it is from February, but at the end of the day, has anything really changed in the last 2 weeks from the time that February wrapped up until this report is released? Has anything really changed in a substantial way since the end of February? Let's be real. Not really. Maybe a little bit, but not a whole lot. So even though they say this is delayed information, it's not totally accurate. Okay, yes, it is a little bit delayed, but who cares? It's still the same thing. It's showing us a snapshot of what actually happened just not that many days ago, right? So yeah, we probably still want to pay attention to this. It's still very important. And then again, it's still going to show us what's actually going on with real inflation, with food prices, energy prices, housing and shelter and healthcare, and literally everything else across the board. It's a very important report that gives us a kind of a really good glimpse into what's actually going on with real prices across the economy. So yeah, we got to pay attention to this report very, very closely. So this report is released once per month, and again, this is the one that we'll be getting for the month of February, and it's again released on the 14th. So again, when I get that report, of course, when it's released the morning of, I'll dig into it and see what's actually going on here, and of course, I'll translate all that information into a video on that day, or sometime around that time, once we get the official report that's released, and let you know what this actually means for all of us going forward. But this is also going to indicate what the Federal Reserve will likely be doing with their upcoming meeting, which, by the way, their next meeting is going to be in the week after. So we're going to be getting this report on Tuesday morning, again, the 14th. And then again, the week afterward, the Wednesday, so a week and a day later on Wednesday, we're going to be getting the next report out of the Federal Reserve, the FOMC, as they're going to be wrapping up their 2-day meeting. And then again, they're going to be let us know what are they going to be doing with their interest rate policy. Are they going to be raising interest rates? Are they going to be pausing? Are they going to be lowering interest rates? What is their plan going forward? So this is also something we got to watch closely. And when it comes to the Federal Reserve, their timing of their FOMC meeting, as in the meeting that they have every 6 weeks, it's kind of timed perfectly because they're going to get this report, and then just a week later, they'll go be engaging in their 2-day meeting there and discussing what they're going to do with interest rates. So again, the timing on that one is pretty good because it'll give them a glimpse to see the latest inflation report and what they need to be doing going forward as far as what they're going to do to handle all this inflation. So this has been a major, major problem, and yeah, it's going to take a very long time to bring this thing back down. So again, it's an ongoing issue. The Federal Reserve, claims to be on top of this thing, claims to be bringing this down, and again, that has been their effort here for almost a year now. They've been working on this thing, And again, it's been a very, very slow process. But again, we'll have to continue watching this. It's another very important and a huge concern of many of us out there, because as these prices continue to rise, it's literally just becoming unsustainable. As we all know, because many people here in the community are low-income and fixed-income beneficiaries, and as you all know, living on a fixed income with rapidly rising prices and high inflation, it's tough. You've seen the entire year of 2022, inflation was very, very high, right? Again, don't get me wrong, inflation is still very high. In fact, prices have not come down on a lot of things, and still, in fact, they're still very elevated. But rather, with these inflation reports, we just continue to see that prices are not rising quite as fast, right? So for the most part, the prices haven't really come down a whole lot on a lot of the things that we're buying on a regular basis. Anyway, I'm going to continue keeping an eye on all this going on out there right now. Again, just another key date that we want to watch very closely going forward over the coming days here. And of course, as I do get more details on anything coming out of the Federal Reserve, out of the administration, lawmakers, Congress, any other reports that are coming out, any announcements, anything that just hits the wire, of course, I'm watching all this stuff in real time, literally every single day. And as I get this information, of course, I do the research, I find all the information, and then I break it down into a short video just like this so that you can stay tuned with what is actually going on. There's a lot going on right now. It's a busy time, and I want to be here for you in any way that I can. So again, if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe down below. It's totally free to do so. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and as always, go back and check out any of the other thousands and thousands of videos here on the channel. And also, feel free to share those ones with your friends, family, social media. Again, I'm watching all this stuff closely because something's got to give here. This is not a sustainable situation. This is not something that's going to be able to continue for a very long time. Something's got to give. We've been talking about this for a very long time now. This new Congress has got to come together and do something, because how long are they really going to sit here and watch the American people struggling month after month, week after week, day after day? At what point do they really need to, come together and say, okay, enough is enough here. We've got to do something for the people. Well, we've been waiting for that for a very long time. Anyway, I'll keep you posted as I do get more details. Again, please subscribe down below. Until next time, stay warm out there, enjoy your day, and I'll catch you.